Thank you, thank you. Thanks to Manav Rachna University for having me here. And I'm सारे लोग उठे हुए हैं. Good morning. Good afternoon. So I'm here to talk about leadership, and I'll share my life's journey with you and tell you how it has shaped my idea of what a leader is. So I think the idea of being a leader has completely changed. Today, being a leader, you have to lead from behind. You have to be that support to everybody in your company to be a leader. Hi, I'm Angad Talwar. I'm the co-founder of Course IQ. We are a molecular skincare brand focused on safe results. We were fortunate enough to be on national TV when we were a 3-month-old company. But I'll take you through the journey of my life on what actually went into creating that successful brand. I was born and brought up in Delhi in a typical middle class Punjabi family, lived in a joint family, got an opportunity to go for my undergrad to US when I was 17. So I boarded my first flight when I was 17, and that was directly to Dallas. And I think that really helped all the exposure I got and uh, being in a very new territory at such a tender age, I think that really helped in me opening up to being leading something instead of just being a follower. Uh, that's how I started. And I think the first lesson I learned in leadership was leadership is all about courage. So I think unknowingly I had that courage to take that step, leave India, leave the comfort of my home, go to the US at that age and pursue my studies. So, moving on, I started, so money was tight. I was in a very expensive university. I had my peers, like 10, 12 Indians who were along with me in the undergrad. They were coming from all biggest business families of India. And I was coming from a typical middle class. My entrepreneurial journey started there. I started selling international edition textbooks in the US. So you guys, you would have gone through. So physics students, you would have probably heard of Alliday Resnick Walker or a lot of US publications. They have Indian edition textbooks that sells for probably 500 rupees in India, and the exact same book sells for $500 in the US. So what I used to do was that was the first business. That was the first time I made money. Uh, I used to bring Indian textbooks and sell it in the US, make a good margin on that. That started my entrepreneurial journey, and I was making a lot of money. At that age, I was paying my college education. I was on a full scholarship though, but I was paying the money I needed to party, all my expenses through that, and making money also. So I'll bring you to the second skill, leadership skill I learned was I I quit that business. You need to look at the bigger picture and not at the golden traps you see for immediate gains. So I gave up. I just shut that down, came back to India. I would credit myself for the first time in my life that was a big decision I made because I could have easily, I had a student loan on me. I could have easily stayed in the US and I could have paid that off, lived a decent life. I instead came back, started my own business with zero money. But I think in hindsight, it wasn't a bad decision after all. You get that feeling a lot of times that you have made a bad decision, but you have to focus on the bigger picture and keep your mind straight. And I think it eventually ended up well for me, at least. Uh, so I uh, then I came back. I started a supplements business. It won't make sense because I am not in good shape, but I was selling a lot of gym supplements online. And Snapdeal and Amazon came in, and that business crashed. But I kept my cool, and I realized ki it's part of your life. Failure is another part of your life, and being a leader, you have to realize you will encounter failures in your life. You cannot be bogged down, and you have to move on. You have to fail fast and move on and do something big. So that was the third lesson I learned. And the fourth lesson, so we started Cos IQ. Kanika came up to me and said that we could start this skincare brand which is ethical, very honest, and communicates what the product has directly to the people. We never wanted to be that Nimbu Mirchi brand ki put lemon on your face and you'll glow. So we did a lot of research around it, and we started Cos IQ 3 years ago. We were fortunate enough to be on national television when we were a 3-month-old company. And building Cos IQ, I think the biggest skill and biggest leadership quality that told you about in the beginning. So I'll tell you that kings are rulers. They can be leaders, they might not be leaders, but kingmakers are always leaders. So I became the kingmaker. I let my wife take control. That has to happen otherwise also. But yeah, in business, I let her take control, and I still call myself as assistant to her, where I let her lead. We do have our fights. I correct each other. But eventually, it was empowering other people to lead and creating leaders. So, across my team, also at Cos IQ, we do not have employees, we have leaders. And uh, we have such an open door policy. It's not an open door policy, but it's an open door with boxing gloves policy. You can come into my office and fight with me, even an employee who has just joined a month ago, and fight with me about something that's not going right in the company or anything about the brand, about the company. So I think that empowering others has empowered me, and that is the true definition of being a leader. So that was my story, and I would love to have words with you off the stage. Thank you.